Hi, students. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. The truth is that some people actually do not know when they are being insulted, and there are so many of them out there also cheering him up, clapping for him, and praising him. The truth is that when somebody has something really good for you or for your community, you do not need to lie or you do not need to go from one place to another. I know this is campaign time. This is a time you read your manifesto to people, tell people the plans you have for them. But the lies that has been going around through this period is a lot, or it's enough for us to know who is who and who is not for who. Then moving forward, look at him coming out to tell black people that your neighborhood is very horrible, and you know what? And you have the worst crime in your community. So what is he trying to tell you? And he's asking you, what the hell do you have to, what do you have to use? You are the worst in income. You are the ones in income. Your areas are being messed up and all that. You can't get a home and all that. You can't get a mortgage and all. First of all, he has already finished telling you that your community is all filled with so many horrifying things and all that. Then asking you, what do you have to lose? The reality is that I do not see anything coming out of this his because I do not see anything that he is willing to do for black people aside from going from one place lying that I mean, like, I am here with black people, and when there are no black people out there, you know what, let's get into this.
We spend more money per pupil. Think of it. You know the expression? And I said it to a large African American group of people 4 years ago. What the hell do you have to lose? You're the worst in income. You're the worst on crime. Your cities and your areas are being decimated. You can't get a home. You can't get mortgage. You can't get, they're last on. I said, and the Democrats have for 100 years run these cities, 100 years. I said to them, what the hell do you have to lose? And you know what? They agreed with me, and I did very well. And now we're at the highest level that any Republican has been with African Americans and with Hispanic Americans. Now I'm going over this list. Every single thing was bad. I said, what do you have to lose? We spend more money per pupil. Think of it. You know the expression?
I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm going to make it very crystal clear. It is time for us to start looking at some of these people and calling them out. Because number one, we are no longer a product for you guys to use as an investment, as for election, to speak about, or whatever. Because when we're in crisis, you guys are nowhere to be found. And I'm referring to people like Donald Trump, Biden administration, Kamala Harris. She is not black. She is from the other side of the brown. Okay, she is a dismembered of the black community. She's only there when it is convenient for her. And some of y'all need to start acknowledging that. HSBC is not the only black colleges that black people go to. Because I graduated at a community college. I graduated on a city college. I graduated at another institution, which was pretty much was a private owned. And it was not part of HBC. And I have my degrees. I didn't get no funding from no United College Negro Fund. And I wasn't part of no member of no HBC. Okay? And I still had my honorate. And I still had my credentials. All right? Not every black person went to HBC. So the money is not coming to our community. If you go around to places like Mississippi, I'm going to show you a segment. And it's on YouTube in case you guys want to see it. It shows the poorest places in America. And it's not just only blacks alone. You go to West Virginia. You go to the part in the District of Virginia. It is the poorest places in America. Places like Donald Trump and Biden, they will not go to. Because guess what? is not going to show, it will cover up that America has a homeless rate and they have people that's on poverty line. Okay? You go to places in Florida, there are some places that you say, oh my God, people actually live here. And it's people that is not like us that's on there. Okay? But for some reason, they learn to live by, just like how we live by. During his Trump administration, when he was president, he assigned Ben Carson and a lot of people that was in the Black caucus, those same ones that talk about, oh, I'm for my Black sisters and brothers. They full of crap. And then most of them were missionaries, and they were church members and leaders who owned churches and was making over millions of dollars from Detroit, from Michigan, from Chicago, New York, Georgia, all of those places, the same ones you see the faces of. And they sitting there telling you with their big words and this and all kind of stuff. And meanwhile, they all have a messed up background lifestyle, but preaching to you. Meanwhile, they all was a part of his committee. And their committee was to shut down people that was working class for low income and saying that they've been in the system too long. His statistics of unemployment got to find out that the thing was hoaxed because people around the world were unemployed. And this is before the COVID. How many Blacks that claimed they were in the union and they noticed that they've been shoved and claimed that they was not working because of seniority, and they had other people come and hire them? That's why I don't like the union. I'm going to tell you a story about the union, but I'll tell you later. Moving right along, you say to yourself, they just use us as a product for election. That's why I put that title there. Don't you get tired of them keep on using us, saying that we have the low statistics of illiterate, dropout rate, and come to find out, you see all our Black men and women graduating with PhD and bachelors? I myself graduated with 2 bachelors and received so many licensing before I retired. Okay? A lot of Black men and women may not have much, but when we graduate or even get our GED, we go straight to college. We do vocational. Okay? If you look at the statistics of how many people that have high school level and drop out, it is not from us. They just use us as a statistics of negativity. And I'm so tired of it. You got Kathy Holcomb that has no clue about running a state. She comes and starts talking about Black, and then talking to another Black person, and that man should have turned around and corrected her. But you see, the thing is, we're too busy trying to kiss the ring. Because I would have said, hold on one second, don't they have a Bronx Science? And the rate of children who doing robotics and stuff like that are mostly Black. So where you get that statistic from? Because that's what I would have said to her. He, on the other hand, is reading stuff on a cue card. He don't even know what the hell that the country has rates for. Okay? But this is the man that you want in president, where he starts out with an introductory and insulting us. But y'all are sitting there kissing the ring to him. Y'all are pathetic. It don't matter if you graduated from college or not, but you got to use common sense. You looked at his campaigns from the time he was president. He had all nothing but white supremacists, because he is a part of the white supremacists and the Christian coalition. Look at the people that he had for Supreme Court judge. They all in a cult, and they're getting bribes. They're not even doing everything that's constitutional. One of them, she never even seen a courtroom. She only teaches law, but she haven't seen a, and that's kind of strange, because when I was in law school, every professor that I went through, they had knew what a courtroom looked like. Some of them were doing federal court, criminal court, tax evasion court. They were even teaching us how people went to jail because of Ponzi scheme. So I don't understand how she never stepped foot in the courtroom, but she steps foot in the Supreme Court and making ruling based on what her organization tell her to do. And the same thing with Clarence Thomas, even though he didn't elect him. You guys, I'm saying, if the world is messed up because you guys voted for this man that doesn't know anything. We are no longer a product for the society to use because the statistics are wrong. Too much false narrative. Black is a color that many people probably look at and disenfranchise, but honestly, black is beautiful. We are smart, intelligent, and we have a whole lot of integrity. We've been doing no innovative things that any type of world or society could ever do. And that is the real talk. You guys be mindful when you go to election day. Listen to all his sermons because it doesn't make any sense. He claimed that he went to a black church. But when you look at the church, it was mostly white people. So he don't know the difference between black and white? And then you talk about Biden is old and he needs to go to a lake pond. Trump is in the same bracket as him because sometimes Trump be saying some things that's senile. And I've been in the hospital and I know when people start having senile and dementia and Alzheimer's. And Trump is one of them too. And he's a compulsive liar.
I know this mofo didn't. I know this mofo didn't. Not on my watch. Forgive the sweat. If y'all see the sweat, see I'm glistening. Your girl just had a good old workout. Okay? But just before I did the workout, I came across some nonsense being repeated by Donald Trump. And yeah, we're not going to let that slide. So listen, this is going to be a long one. This is going to be a long one. So if you're not able to focus for a long period of time, this is not the video for you. But we got some things to discuss. Now, when Donald Trump was running against Hillary Clinton back in 2016, this is the message that he had for black Americans.
No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Tonight, I'm asking for the vote of every single African American citizen in this country who wants to see a better future. Look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. To those I say the following: what do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What do you have to lose?
Now that was back in 2016. But a few months ago, being the wonderful source of information that I am, I told my black Americans, my African Americans, exactly what it is that they lost under Trump. Few things that we lost because of Donald Trump's presidency. Donald Trump's environmental policies. His Environmental Protection Agency rolled back a lot of the protections that President Obama put into place. And when he rolled back those protections, it hurt black people the most. Why? Because a lot of these industrial plants, these oil refineries, they are situated near and around black neighborhoods. And when Donald Trump rolled back those protections that President Obama put into place, it allowed for toxic gases to fill up the air around black neighborhoods, which affected our health greatly. And then, all throughout his presidency, he worked to sabotage the Affordable Care Act. He did little things. Go find this article. He did little things to sabotage the Affordable Care Act. You know why? Because he knew the biggest group of people that were able to obtain health insurance through the Affordable Care Act was black people. And because he couldn't get rid of it outright, he did little things throughout his presidency to water it down, to sabotage how truly effective the Affordable Care Act could be. And then Republican governors in Republican states who support this mofo, they also jumped on board with sabotaging the Affordable Care Act by not accepting funding to expand Medicaid in their states. That's what we lost, but there's more. To my black trans men and women that were in the military, what did you lose when he banned trans people in the military, right? He couldn't go about getting rid of it or getting trans people banned. No, he couldn't do it that way. So he instructed military higher-up personnel to just ban trans people in the military, and they followed suit. So what did you have to lose? You lost your ability to be trans and military. And then during Donald Trump's presidency, he got to appoint 3 Supreme Court justices, positions that are lifelong positions. And as a result of those 3 appointed judges, this is what we lost under Donald Trump. Black women lost their bodily autonomy. They lost their right to abortion health care because the 3 Supreme Court justices that he appointed, they worked to overturn Roe v. Wade. And what ended up happening, we're seeing it today. They sent it back to the states, where Republican states ran with it and went completely wild. And now they have banned abortion in most Republican states, and they have no provisions for rape or incest. They don't care if the mother is dying. They don't care. That's what you lost underneath Trump. Because Donald Trump became president of the United States, he appointed those 3 Supreme Court justices, and as a result, we lost a big chunk of affirmative action. So when Donald Trump says, what does black people have to lose? We lost affirmative action. And under Donald Trump, he started attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion. He actually suspended training while he was president at all federal agencies. No training on diversity, equity, and inclusion under Donald Trump's order. And now, today, they're working to ban diversity, equity, and inclusion all across the board. That's what we lost underneath Donald Trump. Because of Donald Trump's presidency, we are slowly losing our rights to vote. We are holding on by a very thin line because of Donald Trump and his presidency. Yeah, the gerrymandering, the voter suppression laws that are being implemented across the country, it's because of Donald Trump. When I did that video, a lot of y'all were floored. Hell, I was shocked by how much black people really did lose as a result of the Donald Trump presidency. To roll it down point by point and explain each point and how it affected the black community, yeah, some of y'all was blown away. And after we went through some of the points, there's so much more. After we went through some of those points, and black people are watching this man who has surrounded himself with racists who talk about how if they saw a black pilot, they would be nervous and afraid to fly on that plane because the pilot is black. How they're talking about how the United States should have never implemented the Civil Rights Act. How they're talking about how black people are less intelligent than white people. Yeah, they're boldly and openly saying these things. And these people are the ones that are surrounded by Trump. And after they are boldly telling these things to our faces, this mofo is shucking and jiving, reaching down into our community to partner with black rappers, thinking that that is the pathway to the rest of us. How insulting. How insulting. And the reason why he and the people around him think that is because they truly believe that black people are not intelligent. After all of this, this mofo went in front of a crowd on yesterday and said, well, it worked back then. Let's try it again.
And I said it to a large African-American group of people 4 years ago. What the hell do you have to lose? You're the worst in income. You're the worst on crime. Your cities and your areas are being decimated. You can't get a home. You can't get mortgage. You can't get, they're last on it. I said, and the Democrats have for 100 years run these cities, 100 years. I said to them, what the hell do you have to lose? And you know what? They agreed with me, and I did very well. And now we're at the highest level that any Republican has been with African Americans and with Hispanic Americans. Now I'm going over this list. Every single thing was bad. I said, what do you have to lose?
Imagine how I felt watching that video. He's talking about black people can't get homes and black people can't get jobs. And why is that? Why is that? Could it be the systemic practices of this country, the systemic and oppressive laws of this country that exist today that are being kept alive by racist white people in this country? He says that black people can't get homes as I'm laying in my bed in my home. He talks about how bad our neighborhoods are as my black self is laying in my black home in my black neighborhood, where there was a crew of people, old and young, picking up trash on the side of the road, making sure that our neighborhoods stay clean. As I travel up and down the streets in my neighborhood, seeing all of the infrastructure that's being built, the roads that are being repaired, the homes, new businesses coming into my community. You know why? Because of Joe Biden's infrastructure bill. He's saying that to black people. He's saying that black people can't get homes as if Donald Trump wasn't sued by the Department of Justice for discriminating against black people. Yeah, he was participating, he was practicing housing discrimination against black people, and the Department of Justice sued his racist ass. Yeah, he had to pay a hefty fine. Black people couldn't get housing in NYC because of Donald Trump. He says this shit to our face like we are uneducated and we don't know which side of the road he stands on and who he stands with. He does not stand in support of black people. The people around him do not stand in support of black people. Black people, what do you have to lose? The Civil Rights Act. If Donald Trump gets back into the White House, they will scrap the Civil Rights Act. What do you have to lose? The freedom that you have today will be null and void should Donald Trump get back into the White House. You will definitely be reduced to second-class citizens in this country. Yeah, that's what you will have to lose. Your elderly parents, your elderly grandparents, they will lose Social Security if Donald Trump gets back into the White House. Yeah, your good paying job that you got because of your education and you pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, yeah, you will lose that. Because according to Donald Trump and the racists that surround him, the only reason why you got that job was because of affirmative action, was because of DEI programs. They've already gotten rid of affirmative action. DEI will be next. Black people, what have you got to lose? All that we have fought for to get equitable and fair treatment in health care, yeah, you will lose that. For as bad as it is, it's not what it was. What will black people have to lose should Donald Trump get back into the White House? Black people could lose everything. Everything.
So this is all I got from this video, and you can, I think it's the audacity asking black people, what do you have to lose? It's really crazy how people are actually out there supporting him. Really, I am trying so hard to wrap my head around it. He's asking, what the hell do you have to lose? And he went further to say, you are the worst in income. You are the worst in crime. So, what else do you want him to tell you that without knowing? Like, he has really said it all, because there is nothing left again for him to come out to say that you are damn, oh, you have nothing to lose. Your neighborhood is very bad, you are the worst in your neighborhood is very bad. You are the worst in crime. You can't get a home, which I actually understand. Black people cannot get a home, but what does he mean that you are the worst? Your neighborhood is bad, you are the worst in crime. What does he mean by that? Because it's kind of a little bit hard for me to understand, you know and I really do not have problem with him coming out to say, because like this is really what he stands for. And if there is anybody waiting to see more of what he stands for, you all can actually hear this and say it at the same time. Now let me tell you this. The truth is that Donald Trump do not have a lot that he wants to do for black people. He is campaigning. And all know what happens during campaign. They use a certain kind of people. Now, if you all can remember, Trump has been from one black community, and some places he would. The last one he went was in Detroit, where he said that it was a black neighborhood, black community, and all that church. And when he got there, the only people I could see there were all white people. I did not see any black person or something. So why is he using black people to campaign? And I have really been having hard time understanding why they are constantly or continuously using black people, because I don't get it. There are so many people out there, that they could, but his concentration is so much on black people, and not like he has a lot, because from his manifesto I am not seeing a lot that he got for black people, but he has been going from one black place to another looking for a way to convince people. And the only time they do all this are during campaign period, during election period. They come out, they read their manifesto to you and tell you, these are what I have for you people in stock. And then after the election, that is the end of it. This is not the first time they have done it, second time or third time. And if people decide that they are going to do like they did before, it's still going to turn out the same, because I do not see anything tangible that he is willing to do for people that look like me, aside from make America great. When was he ever great for people that look like me? Then moving forward, it is the problem I have is that there are so many coons, that keep falling for his right to disease campaign or okidoki kind of thing and all that. And I really do not care. For me, I have really not been so much into this election and all that. Like, I do not care. But the truth is that you also have to decide who you are. Giving your vote to, because who you are giving your vote to depends on the person, or depends. It really has a lot to do, right? And the hypocrisy is really stifling, because I am really trying to, and then the morons, I don't know if I should call it, like the people that are all standing around him. What's his name? Byron Donald and Tim Scott. There are so many of them that are always around him, showing him up, tweeting for him, doing so many things. But then they also know that they do not have anything tangible he wants to do for black people. But a lot of people are still out there supporting him. Really, it is really hard. It is really hard for me to talk about all this, because I feel he is not, I don't know how to say it so that people don't think but I don't know how somebody would be. He is capitalizing on the probably the poor condition, or how black people have been treated, or like the situation of things for people that look like me, and he is using that, capitalizing on that to make his campaign manifesto, which is silly, you know. How do you want to read your manifesto to us, tell us what you want to do, and in the end, you don't even fulfill them? Has he ever fulfilled anyone? And a lot of so many things are still going to be lost, DEI and the rest of it. I don't know, but I think that, like, you know, somebody is not being genuine and he is lying a lot just to get vote. And I think we really have to be very smart. Like I keep saying, I am not campaigning for anybody, but we really have to be very smart on whom we are giving our vote in order to have better tidings around us. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.